Boom. We are live. Welcome back, everybody, to another video slash podcast episode for everybody listening on the podcast. What's up? Shout out to you guys. In this video, I'm going to talk about something that is very important, which relates to building self-esteem. And why do we want to build self-esteem as people part of PACE? People pleasers, anxiously attached, codependents, empaths. We want to build self-esteem because, number one, we want to feel good in our bodies. That one's pretty obvious and basic. But also, number two, if we're feeling good in our body and we're generating a positive experience, we're going to become way more attractive to the people that we want to date. And that's like the number one thing you're going against that's really, really fucking things up for you in terms of your dating and social life as someone a part of PACE. We have this desperation, we have this neediness. We really, really want to get into a relationship. We really, really want physical intimacy because we're starved of that affection. We're starved of that positive experience. And because we're in that state, not only are we repelling people, actively repelling people that would be a great partner, but we're attracting toxic people, either narcissists who can feel that you're very vulnerable, that you don't have boundaries, you don't have standards because you are starving for love. I mean, it makes sense why you don't have those things. So you're going to attract those people, and also you're going to attract people that can't consistently love you and treat you how you need to be loved and treated, period. So, very, 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 very important that we're building self-esteem. We're basically saying, hey, I'm having such a great fucking time over here. I don't need this, but I'm open to seeing what this is about. That's like the best vibe going into social settings, going into, dating, dates. So, I want to give you a mentality, a mindset shift, some practical tips when you're in social settings to be actively building self-esteem. And it's more focused and related to when people don't give you a good reaction, when people aren't really giving you that positive response, which feels fucking terrible as somebody a part of PACE. It makes you not want to socialize. If you don't get a positive response when you're socializing, when you're sharing, giving good energy, it can make you feel really, really fucked up and shut down and worthless, like you're weird, like you're anxious, all these different feelings. So I'm going to give you a little example to illustrate this, what I'm talking about right here, and also how to get yourself in a position where you're unfazed by people's reactions to you, whether they're good or bad. Because it's nice when you get a good reaction, but if we're dependent on people giving us good reactions, then we're going to be very anxious. We're going to be very insecure because it's not coming from within. And if it's not coming from within, it's unstable. It's inconsistent. We don't know if we're going to get it or not. That uncertainty, even if we're getting positive reactions, all throughout wherever the fuck you're at, right? The grocery store, that's the example I'm going to share here in a second. Um, Bookstore, club, bar environment, whatever. If we sense that we're not going to be able to consistently get it, if we don't know we can have that experience within ourselves, there's going to be this underlying tension. There's going to be this underlying anxiety because we don't know if we're going to get the positive experience or not. So here's a little story I'm going to share with you. I went to the grocery store this morning to get some groceries, drinks, food, yogurt, snacks. And I took an Uber over there because it's really fucking hot. I live in Arizona. Didn't want to walk both ways there. And I'm talking to the Uber driver. I just woke up. I'm not totally in the fucking flow. I'm not totally aligned. A little bit in my head. Talking to the Uber driver, just making small talk, which is a big deal for someone who's very, very traumatized. You don't want to talk. And a lot of time you don't have the energy to talk. So flexing that muscle is already in and of itself kind of a big deal. And I'm sharing the good energy. That's going great. Person's giving me positive responses. I get dropped off. I'm going to the grocery store in a pretty good mood, and I see one of these workers, fries workers there, and she's like boxing something up or whatever. And I say, "Hey, good morning." And she looks up at me and gives me like these fucking daggers, like I don't know if she's having a rough day or she just hates men. I don't know what the fuck the cause was, but she was just not receptive to the energy. And immediately I felt super fucking shut down, super fucking anxious because I didn't get a good reaction. Now, being a part of PACE, that's going to be a very familiar experience, me sharing that with you. You're going to be like, oh, I can recall some times where I was also expecting a good response, a good experience from the other person. Maybe it's you holding the door open for somebody. Maybe it's you did something nice for them and they didn't give a fuck at all, or they were even rude and disrespectful. In these moments, it's a really powerful opportunity to start practicing validating yourself from within. So, what are some things that you can do in that moment when you don't get the favorable response? Because if you don't get that favorable response and you just let that happen and you stop there, it's going to make you feel very shut down. It's going to make you not want to keep socializing. It's going to make you become even more introverted. And that's going to make your dating and social life suffer, as well as just you not being as expressive within your own body, which also fucking sucks. We want to be in a state where our personality is just sharing, it's just free flowing. We're not stifling ourselves. We're not trying to hide and suppress different parts of ourselves. We want to be open. We want to be free. It's an incredible experience, incredible feeling. So the first thing that you want to do is give yourself praise for sharing the good energy, for putting yourself out there. So in that specific example, I was like, you know what? I'm really proud of you, Dante, for just offering that good energy, just saying like, hey, good morning. Like you didn't have to fucking do that, right? That took a little bit of courage, being someone who's so fucking shell shocked and traumatized. You don't want to talk to other people. You've had this horrible experience with people, with the ones closest to you, the ones that are supposed to love you the most, that were so fucking abusive, neglectful, brutal, disrespectful. So it's like you have this conditioning that people are unsafe and you're actively going against that. That's incredible. Really proud of you. So giving yourself praise in those moments, giving yourself praise for putting yourself out there, giving yourself praise for sharing, for expressing. So instead of being stifled, instead of being shut down, instead of having that like injection of anxiety, which you might feel anyway, which is okay, we're now supporting that with praise. So instead of trying to get the good response from the other person, you're now creating a good response. If you get a good response, awesome. Really proud of you for putting yourself out there and look how well that went. If you get a negative response, hey, I'm proud of you for putting yourself out there, even though it didn't go well. Like you still put yourself out there, you still shared, you still expressed yourself. That's amazing. Coming from someone who's very, very traumatized and shut down, that's a win. That's the first thing. The second thing is give a excuse for the other person. So in that moment, what's an excuse I can give for her behavior? You know what? Maybe she's unhappy with her partner. Maybe she woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Maybe she's dealing with some health issues. Like, let me make it not about me. Let me make this interaction not have to say something deeply profound and hurtful about myself. So give yourself an out. That's the second thing, second tip. Make an excuse, justify the person's behavior, right? Someone cuts you off in traffic. This doesn't really apply to being like shut down and being social, but just as an example, someone cuts you off on traffic. You know what? Maybe they're late to work and they've been late to work a bunch of times. And they're like, fuck, I really can't be late to work today. Otherwise, I'm gonna get fired. Like, give people the benefit of the doubt to take the anxiety, the shame, the intensity off of you, to take you out of the spotlight and just give it back to them. And lastly, number three, third tip, find something funny about that interaction. If it goes really poorly, find something funny or amusing about that. And what's the example I, gave myself in that moment when I was walking home and self-reflecting? I was like, "Oh, that's like really funny actually." Like I was in this happy, bubbly mood and I come across this person and she's just like, "I fucking hate the entire universe and I fucking hate you." Seeing me as like little bubbly fucking short dude skipping on rainbows through the goddamn grocery store while she's hating life. Like that's kind of funny. That's kind of amusing. And that's the last thing, as a way to, again, diffuse the tension, diffuse the shame, diffuse the anxiety. Find something funny about it because you're feeling this not because you're doing something wrong. You're feeling this not because you're a terrible fucking person. It's because you've been conditioned by people who were also deeply traumatized to feel like there's something wrong with you, to feel like you shouldn't be yourself. You were hurt, you were abused, you were traumatized. And it doesn't matter what the reasons are, because you suffered that experience, it makes you feel like you're worthless. So you don't want to express. You don't want to be social. You don't want to be confident because what does that mean if you're confident? It means you're being seen. What happens if you're seen? People are going to attack you. The people closest to you are going to attack you. Why? Because that was the dynamic growing up. That's what you were exposed to. That was the dynamic. That's what you were conditioned. That's what was familiar. And that shit sinks deep into our nervous system like a poison. So when we're in our adult lives in the fucking grocery store, just trying to like be ourselves, it comes out as a lot of shame, a lot of anxiety because we don't want to express ourselves. We don't want to put ourselves out there. Our whole fucking existence is how can I stay as small as possible? How can I stay hidden? How can I stay not seen? What is everything I can do to protect myself so that I don't get attention put on myself? So it's kind of a healthy practice to, you know, say hi to people, especially in environments like the grocery store or whatever, yoga class. Like say hi to people. Just little small things like that, just to show yourself, hey, it's okay to be seen. We're not going to be attacked. And building upon that, now I want to get a little bit deeper. Okay, there's kind of three levels here. So the first level is these three tips I showed you. Give yourself praise, give the person the benefit of the doubt, find something funny about the interaction. If things go badly, if people don't treat you well, if you're sharing yourself, expressing yourself, and they don't accept that invite. They're like, I don't want none of this. You're fucking weird. I don't like you. You suck. Whatever, whatever the case may be. That's the first level. Do those three things. That's going to help you. And it's going to really make those experiences a lot less overwhelming and intense. Give me a second here. The second level, second layer, second stage involves you finding ways to build your self esteem that are independent of people's validation. Let me give you some examples of this so that you can be inspired to create your own. This is super fucking important here. This is huge. So if I ask you, what's your value? What makes you valuable? Why should people be excited to be around you? Why should people respect you? Why should they want to appreciate you? Why should they want to be around you? Why should they see you as this like holy fuck kind of person? Like I want to really get to know this person. Like this person's awesome. If we don't have like a list, if we don't have a brochure we can like pop off, hand off to people in our head, that's a problem. So I'm going to give you some of mine. Number one, I'm one of the strongest people that I know. I have BPD, borderline personality disorder. I deal with chronic health issues that nearly killed me a couple years ago, and they've like massively physically crippled my body. So, like, emotionally, physically, dealing with a lot every day. Surviving that, incredible resiliency. That's huge. So, one, one weak point I have in my own self esteem is feeling very weak, right? So, I was like bullied every day of high school. I had a narcissistic father. So my self-esteem, a lot of that, why I didn't have good self-esteem is because I feel very weak. I feel like, oh, I'm not very manly, I'm not very masculine. I didn't get that self-esteem growing up. So it's like I feel like already at a deficit. So one way of kind of combating that is acknowledging the fact that like, no, actually I'm one of the strongest people that I know. I deal with BPD and I have these horrible health issues. And every day I wake up and I survive that horrible fucking experience. Like, that is like, you have to be so fucking strong to not be crushed by that every single day. And not only am I just surviving that, but I'm actually building a business off of that. I'm taking care of my mental and emotional health. I'm like going after my goals, even though I'm having these horrible, heavy fucking anchors weighing me down and literally making my entire existence like 50 fucking times harder. So how can I draw self-esteem from that? By just acknowledging the fact that like, wow, I'm really strong. I'm really powerful. Do you see how that's not connected to what anyone else thinks about me? If I'm going out into the world and people are not giving me good responses or they're judging me or being disrespectful to me, I'm going to go within and I'm going to reaffirm that to myself. Hey, fuck these people that are being mean or disrespectful or rude or not receptive. Right? Maybe for those people, they're not receptive people. Maybe fuck you is a little too much. Maybe it's a little too harsh, but as a general idea, fuck all these people. I have worth. I have value. Why? Because look how strong I am. Look how powerful I am. Now going to what's people's experience of you? Well, I'm super fucking open-minded. A lot of people aren't open-minded. What's the benefit of that? We can talk about a lot of things. There's not going to be a lot of like judgment and animosity. This is a very fucking chill, safe space. Good energy. Like that is one of the most important things to me is that I have good energy. I'm having a good time. I'm laughing a lot. I'm having a lot of fun. Great vibes. So if I'm talking with somebody, if I'm not talking, but like if I'm having in a relationship with somebody or have a relationship with somebody, let's say platonic as well, that's really important. So that's another big benefit of being in my energy, being in my world. It's really fucking positive, really fucking fun. Why is that important? To affirm to myself, because that's a big benefit, independent of whether someone's in my world or not. That's a benefit that has value. Affirm that to yourself, right? Hey, this is a really positive experience. That's going to be building your self esteem. So if you're having these things that aren't dependent on what everyone else is thinking about you, and this also applies to like romantic relationships, understanding that you have value, you have worth. Now you're not chasing someone else's approval. Now you're not desperately wanting to get into a relationship because you feel good about yourself. The higher your self esteem, the less needy and desperate you're going to be to get into a relationship because you know what you bring to the table. So that's the second level here, the second stage of validating yourself. It's finding ways to feel good about yourself that don't require other people's input. How about your soul? How about your spirit? Your unique blend of consciousness? What's that like? For me, I'm intensely curious, very, very much into spirituality, very much, again, into having fun, very open minded. I want to go explore spirituality more in depth. I'm into bettering myself. And just like feel your own frequency, your own fucking vibe, your own energy, and understanding that like that in and of itself is valuable. That has a lot of worth. The more that you love yourself, the more that you are compassionate with yourself, supportive of yourself, the more confident you're going to become, the more open, expressive you're going to become, and the more you're going to be able to let out, to channel of yourself, of your own energy. The more creative you're going to become, the more expressive you're going to become, the more kind you're going to become, the more of a conduit for good energy you're going to become. So simply the fact that you're like alive, that also is a doorway into feeling more secure within yourself. Acknowledging the fact that like, oh, I am like a miracle. Like I have a lot to offer. I have so much creativity. I have so much love to share. That's a window into self-esteem. That's a window, a doorway into feeling good about yourself. And again, the better that you're feeling about yourself, the less needy you're going to come off to other people. That means you're going to have more relationships, better quality relationships, attract better quality relationships, and just have a better experience in your body. And the better you feel, the more access to creativity and inspired impulses you're going to have access to. So that means way better business ideas, way better creative ideas, but also just better quality of life because your energy is at a higher level. So you're going to get these impulses to, let's say, watch a movie or make this specific dish for dinner. And it's going to come from, I'm excited to do this versus, oh, I guess I could, I guess I could make that today and then we can, okay, I can watch this movie. Because your energy is in a higher place, these impulses are going to give you energy. So you're creating this momentum where you're going to be feeling better and better and better and better and better. And lastly, the third thing that we want to focus on when validating ourselves, to validate ourselves, is exploring our limiting beliefs. So let's say you're doing the first three things. Level one, praising yourself, giving people the benefit of the doubt, finding something funny about the interaction. And you've also tapped into some ways in which that you can feel good about yourself. I gave you a really good one earlier, feeling very powerful and strong at everything that I'm surviving on a daily basis. That's incredible. That I can connect with that. That makes me feel really good about myself. So finding ways to feel good about yourself, being proud of yourself. The last stage, level three, for validating yourself is exploring your limiting beliefs. So you can have good things to feel good about yourself, good self-esteem blocks. You can be doing those three things I talked about and shared earlier in level one. But if you have limiting beliefs about yourself, about your past, about what's possible, then you're still going to be generating a lot of negative energy because you're viewing yourself or what's possible or reality through a negative filter. And a lot of the time, these beliefs are related to, childhood trauma, very intense, unpleasant events. And going through those events, we create these perspectives as kids as to why that happened, as to what that what that meant. And a lot of the time, because we're young children and we're very egocentric, being very young children, what that meant has to do with us and our value. And I shared a really great belief, limiting belief, on yesterday's live stream. You can go look at that video for everybody watching, listening here, and everybody on live stream. You can go check that video out. It's called Why Breakups Shouldn't Hurt. Really great video. That limiting belief that I had and shared there is a great example of how, like, it doesn't matter if you're doing all these things if you're not also diving deep into what are your triggers, what are your traumas, and why are they there, and seeking to invalidate the the negative definition that you created for yourself, about other people, about how relationships work, about how life works. We have these assumptions, these definitions that are buried in our subconscious, and you can only really access them by asking very powerful probing questions such as, what must I believe is true to feel this way? Any fucking time I feel any sort of negativity about anything, I'm asking that question, right? Feel a little bit of anxiety. Oh, awesome. What must I believe is true to feel this way? What are most people doing? They feel the negative emotion and they try to stuff it down. They feel the negative emotion and they try to distract themselves. Right? Let me look at TikTok. Let me fucking watch 500 episodes of this thing. Let me use a substance. Let me, FaceTime somebody. Anything to keep your attention distracted. Anything to keep your attention off of your emotions, off of your feelings. But when you have questions to use, to ask, to inquire into your emotions, into your feelings, they stop being overwhelming. They stop being intense. And you actually start to get to the heart of why you're feeling the way you're feeling. Like the example I gave yesterday. I was feeling pressure to work on my business. And after using these probing questions, diving into my subconscious, using these questions, I got to the realization that, oh, this has to do with, a memory I had with my dad when I was little, which then created this dynamic to feel like I have to be pressured to create. Otherwise, I suck or I'm falling behind or I'm not good enough. That's the last layer, level 3 of validating yourself, building self-esteem, cultivating incredible self-esteem so that you feel great in your body, but also you can share from this place of, I'm just sharing to share because it feels good to share. It feels good to offer good energy. Why? Because your good energy that you're offering people is like a little sample, right? Like a Costco fucking free sample. And not everybody is going to like the, sushi salmon roll bites that you're offering at Costco, or the keto coconut cupcakes that you're offering at Costco. But there is a section of the populace that fucking loves keto coconut cupcakes. And they're going to try that free sample and they're going to be like, this is fucking delicious. I'll take 10 more. And that's what you're looking for in your daily life, throughout your hobbies, throughout the lifestyle, the vision for your life that you're building for yourself. It's generating this good energy, having this great self-esteem so that you're sharing these little bursts of energy, whether it's like, hey, how's it going? How you doing today? Just boom, offering good energy. How are you doing today? What's going on? What's up? Right? Commenting about something that's happening. That's a free sample. That's you sharing a piece of your energy. And it's giving people an invitation, an opportunity to go, hey, how do I like this energy? How do I feel about this energy? Do I want to invest in this person and participate in this little social interaction? And the more you get good at that, the more naturally the conversation you're having with people is going to develop. The more playful you're going to become. If it's someone that you're interested, romantically, the more flirty and playful you're going to become. But it's coming from this place of, I'm just offering and I don't give a fucking damn if it goes well or if it doesn't go well. That's a very important vibe to cultivate that we want to be working on as someone a part of PACE, right? People pleasers, anxiously attached, codependents, empaths. Eventually, I'll say this enough to the point where I can just say it's pace and feel comfortable being like, okay, I think my following understands where I'm coming from now. We're not there yet, though. So you want to be challenging your negative emotions. You want to be diving deep into your limiting beliefs. And you either look, you either have to understand how to do that for yourself. That's a skill set. You got to spend some time and some money on either books, resources, coaching to get a handle on how to do that. And again, it is a skill set. The first time I fucking did this on my own, it took me 3 hours. I was in a hotel bathroom with the shower on. I probably wasted so much water. This is not great. And I spent 3 hours asking these questions to myself, trying to dive deeper into my emotions to figure out why the fuck I'm feeling this way. Like, what is the core definition that's keeping this pattern alive? It took me 3 hours, 3 fucking hours. Okay. So it's a skill set. Now it takes me like 45 seconds, right? A few minutes, sometimes longer for sure. But on average, it takes me a few fucking minutes of just asking this question, diving deep, using the notes application on my phone. But you have to know how to do this, or you have to have somebody doing this for you. Like going to the dentist twice a year to get a cleaning, to get all the plaque out of your teeth. You can do it that way. That definitely works. If you don't want to invest all this time and money into learning how to do this for yourself, I still think you should. That's going to be my recommendation because it's just better when you're able to do it for yourself. Like you're not always going to be able to go to the dentist, using this as an example. Like having a water pick at your fucking house to floss with so you can get the plaque out. I feel like that's much better than having to go to the dentist as opposed to not having it done at all. Definitely go to the dentist, right? Definitely pay somebody like myself to sit down with you once every 6 months and dive into your core, you know, limiting beliefs, sticking points, challenges, definitions, so we can transform that shit, replace that shit, rip that shit out so you can feel better in your body. Because those limiting definitions that you have about yourself, about the world, about reality, your past, present, future, that's all weighing you down. So when you remove that, when you get rid of that, you're going to feel a lot better in your body. When you're feeling a lot better in your body, you have all that energy back just like flowing throughout your nervous system, throughout your energetic body, your emotional system. Now you're just going to naturally feel better. What happens when you're naturally feeling better? You're more creative, you're more inspired, you're more dialed into your own emotions, your own intuition. You're more playful, you're more social, you're more expressive, you're sharing more, you're creating more. And that's where you want to be. That's where you want to live. And it's incredible because when this is happening and you're starting to share more and more and more, talking more in terms of socializing, being out in your life, out meeting people, you have this vibe of I feel so good in my body. I really love myself. I really love my life. And the more that compounds, the more you start to get very playful, very fun, very funny, right? The more you're expressive. And when you're expressing yourself, expressing this good energy, being fully validated, having great rock solid fucking rock star goddamn self-esteem, you don't require anybody else to validate you. You don't require anybody else to feel good about yourself. You just feel good in your body. You're so secure in yourself. Then when you offer these little free samples, which can just be as simple as, "Hey, how's it going? Good morning." It's not what you're saying, it's the energy behind what you're saying. What you're saying when you're saying, "Hey, good morning. Hey, how are you doing?" is, "Hey, do you want to invest into this energy?" And the investment on their end could be, "Oh, I'm doing really great. How are you doing?" And then you have a nice little few minute interaction together. Or maybe you guys are really fucking compatible and resonant with each other, and now you're laughing and you're talking about something. I remember I went grocery shopping once with this girl I was seeing, and we were in this aisle. There was a worker there, and we were going to look for keto granola because I do keto diet. And we were talking about cereal. And I was saying something about how honeycomb cereal, she was saying it's her favorite cereal. I was like, I can't stand that cereal. Like, it's not bad cereal, but she was putting it as her top one, like her first place cereal. And I'm like, that's insane. Honeycomb's pretty good. But I think Fruity Pebbles, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, um, what else? Pops. That's probably not one that's collectively agreed as like one of the first place cereals, I think. But it's pretty fucking good for me personally. But like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Fruity Pebbles, I think number one top play cereal. She was saying Honeycomb was her cereal. We were talking about this, passing the grocery, stalker person lady, and she said, "Oh, honeycomb is also my favorite cereal." When we were having that conversation, me and the girl, about cereals, that's good energy. That's coming from a place of I'm constantly validating myself, pumping my state, feeling good about myself. I'm bringing this good energy with this person. We're now sharing, expressing, being loud, not super loud, but expressive, so kind of loud, sharing this good energy. And now, as a result of sharing the good energy, people sensing, oh, this person is having a great time in their own body. This is good energy. It almost like pulls people in, right? When you're not secure within yourself, when you're pinging off the environment, off of other people to validate you, to make sure that, oh, like, is it okay to be me? Is it okay? Am I okay? When you're constantly pinging off everybody through your energy, through the underlying intent in how you're communicating, how you're even just existing in your own body, that's repulsive. It's repelling people away because basically you're asking for energy. You're asking people for their energy. It's the same thing as like a homeless person. No shade on homeless people, love homeless people, but it's the same thing as a homeless person walking up to people and saying, "Hey, can I have some money?" It's an ask. So energetically, you're also asking. You're saying, "Hey, can you make me feel okay in my body real quick? Can you just give me this validation real quick so I can feel okay in my body?" And most people, some people will do that, and it's going to be a nice positive moment for you. But most people don't want to do that because you're trying to take their own energy, and most people aren't in a good place of generating their own good energy. So in that grocery store, in that example, we're sharing great energy. And she felt invited simply through our vibe to participate in that interaction. And it was fucking funny, and we were all laughing, and it was hilarious 5 minutes. And even after it ended, she was still stocking stuff, and we were still talking, and it kept like having this callback humor to the fucking honeycombs for like another few minutes. And that was like a highlight of our day. Like it was just a nice, beautiful moment, nice, funny moment. You start cultivating lots of those when you begin validating yourself and giving yourself good emotions. That becomes more commonplace. That becomes your reality. So it's important going back to exploring your limiting beliefs, exploring your emotions. It's important to be challenging these things. It's important to have a strategy to deal with your emotions, support your emotions, instead of just letting them be there, letting them build, letting them becoming more and more intense, and using, disassociation as the best way, as a band-aid to kind of get through that trigger, get through that overwhelming experience of your own emotions, of your own body, of yourself. So that's what I wanted to share with you here today. These three levels of building self-esteem, of validating yourself, of creating a positive, energetic experience so that moving throughout your life, you're attracting really good energy from people. You're attracting these great interactions. You're expressing yourself. You're giving these free samples out in these little micro communications. Or even just like take this, video, take this live stream. In the live stream, the energy, the underlying energy intention in the live stream, in the video, in the podcast is I'm really enjoying what I'm doing and I don't need anything from you. It's just an invitation. I'm inviting you to take this information on. I'm inviting you to, here in a second, to work with me as a coach and client relationship dynamic. It's an invitation. I'm having such a great time over here and I'm just sharing. If you want to take that, take me up on that, sick. If you don't, awesome. And more importantly, you're having this become your underlying basis for living your life. So over time, you're going to get better and better and better at feeling good in your body, at not needing anything from other people. You're going to become such an attractive fucking person as a result of doing this. And you're going to feel amazing in your body because you just feel so good about yourself. And that doesn't just apply for romantic relationships, although that's like the thing we most want, being a part of PACE, but that applies for platonic relationships and business relationships. When people can feel you don't want anything from them, you're having a fucking amazing time in your world, in your body, in your reality, and you're just sharing, you're just inviting. It's not a big deal. And if they were to agree, they would be like, oh, wow, we get to have even more fun together. Sick. Yeah, let's do that. That's the game. That's the game. And those are the three things that you want to work on to really master this. Number one, in your day-to-day life, when people don't give you good reactions, find something to be proud of yourself about. Find something to give the other person the benefit of the doubt for their behavior. Everyone's sometimes goes through hard days, have tough days. They're going through some shit. Like find some way to disqualify their behavior to not take it personally, right? Give them an out. Give them the benefit of the doubt. And number three, find something funny about the rejection. Find something funny about them not accepting you, not validating you. That's the first level. Level two, just recapping here before I end the video. Level two, find core blocks, core reasons why you can be proud of yourself, why you can feel good about yourself outside of people's validation. The one I gave earlier is I have borderline personality disorder. I deal with chronic health issues. I have to deal with a lot every single fucking day. As a result of that, I'm like one of the strongest people that I know. I'm really proud of myself for surviving all of this on a daily basis and continually showing up for myself, continually bettering myself, continually, working on my business. That's incredible. I can connect with that. I can feel good about myself without having someone else needing to validate me. It doesn't matter what someone else thinks about me. I have that in my pocket making me feel good about myself. Find more of those. Just practice. Even if like you don't have a whole list right now just when doing that, keep it in the back of your head and continually just be asking yourself like what can I feel good about myself? Like what are some reasons I can feel good about myself? And just keep replaying them in your head, right? Anytime you feel down, replay them, replay them. Anytime you get rejected, anytime people don't validate you or give you good responses, replay them, just like a washing machine, just rinse and repeat them until they become automatic. Until you know them so intimately that you can just rattle them off if someone were to ask you, "Hey, what's valuable about you? Hey, why do you feel good about yourself? Hey, why do you love yourself?" You should have a fucking list. Get to the point where you can rattle off a list. That's when you know you're in a good place. That's when you know your self-esteem is in a pretty good place. And then lastly, level three is explore your triggers, explore your traumas, explore your negative patterns. Okay? Your very intense emotions. Be challenging, be questioning your negative emotions because anytime you're feeling negative emotion, you have a negative definition, right? So I'll give you an example. On this live stream, people are coming in and they're coming out. And it's been kind of hovering at around one or two people. I feel a lot of what's the emotion here? I feel I don't know if anxiety is the right word. We'll say anxiety. I don't know if that's quite right, but it kind of feels like anxiety. I'm feeling anxiety because people aren't consistently staying. So I feel like oh, I'm like questioning like how I'm doing basically. Like I'm in my head about it. That's because I have a negative definition. I don't know what that is because I need to fucking sit down and journal about it here in a second so that in the future I won't give a shit who's on the live stream. It's just becoming like it's just a fun thing to do. But right now I'm in my head about it because I have a negative definition about it. Most people, they leave that definition there. It keeps generating more and more negative emotion and they either suffer through it or they just stop, right? So like if I were to leave this here, I would either just continue to have an unpleasant experience, right? A 3 or 4 out of 10 live stream experience and just suffer through it and just keep doing that. Or I would stop altogether because I'm like, oh my God, this feels so horrible. I don't want to keep doing this. To me, that's unacceptable because this is something that I want to do. This feels good. So what am I going to do after this little experience is over? I'm going to sit down. I'm going to journal about why I'm feeling this emotion. Very important. I'm going to be challenging the negative pattern. I'm going to be challenging the negative emotion with questions, with probing questions. I'm going to inquire. I'm going to explore. Hey, why is this here? How am I viewing myself or the situation that's causing me to feel so badly? That's like my own fault. That's my own perspectives. That's my own mind. And maybe it's just a surface level definition that I'm just not seeing, I'm not defining things in just like a healthy way. Or it might be connected, like I said earlier, to a deeper memory, right? Maybe it's related to, I don't know, like a show and tell experience when I was a kid or with another family member or something. I don't know. We'll see when I sit down and actually journal about it. But the important thing here and why I share that is that's like a perfect example of something that is happening in your life real time that you have to challenge. And if you are not in the habit of challenging, if you don't have people to help support you challenging these things, then they're just going to continue to perpetuate and cause you to feel worse and worse and worse, or cause you to stop showing up in the way that you want to show up. Okay. So I really hope that these 3 levels of building self-esteem, validating yourself, becoming more secure within yourself so that you can become more expressive, so that you can share more, so that you can become more attractive to other people, both platonically, romantically, and in your business relationships. I hope this has been very valuable. I hope this has resonated. If you want to take this even deeper and get my help in helping you actually look at these deeper limiting beliefs, negative definitions that you have, these negative patterns that you have, and get rid of them so that you can be more secure within yourself. If you want me to have everything I just shared with you in this video be like 500 times easier because you have my help, someone who is literally doing this every single day, helping clients do this about every single day, has spent, over 10 plus years working on these things, basically every single fucking day, then you can tap the link in the description below. For everybody watching on TikTok, tap the link in my bio and apply for coaching with me. That'll take you to my scheduling page and you can pick a date and time to work with me. Only if you're serious. Okay. Only if you're really serious about getting this down. I only want to work with people who are ready to change, who have the money to change, and are willing and able and understand that it's going to take some time to change. Like, yes, I'm going to show you some shortcuts. Yes, it's going to be really fun. It's going to be very empowering, but it's going to take some time. So make sure that you have the time set aside to make this a priority. Make sure you have the funds to be able to afford this and you're ready to change your life. For everybody else, keep enjoying the free content on YouTube and TikTok. I appreciate you for being here and thank you for watching.